Hey friends, welcome to the third video of our How to Crochet series. The last video we learned how to chain. So this video we're going to learn how to work on our first row. So first we're going to start with 11 chains, and this is going to be our foundation row, also known as the frustration row. So first we're going to go ahead and do our 11 chains, and if you've lost count, I'm going to show you how to count those. So we have these V stitches here. We're going to count the top loop. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This does not count as a loop. So we have 11 and we're good to go. We're going to go ahead and insert our hook into the second chain from the hook or from the loop. This would be the loop right here. We're going to go 1, 2. And some people go underneath this top loop. That's not the correct way to go into it. It sure is easy to go into that top loop, but we're actually going to go ahead and go underneath both these loops here. So underneath both loops, just insert our hook underneath there. And you're going to see we caught 2 loops, and then we have our loop that was on the hook. Just like how we were chaining, we're going to put the hook in front of the yarn, and we're going to wrap around and pull towards ourselves and pull that yarn under these loops. There we go. Now we have 2 loops on the hook. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to put our hook in front of the yarn, wrap around, come towards ourselves, and we're going to pull through both loops on the hook. And there we go. That's a single crochet. So now we're going to go into the next stitch. The next chain or stitch is right here. We don't want to go into this one. As you can see, this one has business coming out of it. We want to go into this one that has no business. So take our hook. We're going to go underneath both of those loops. Okay. Now we've got our 2 loops on the hook. 1, I'm considering that 1. So 1, 2. And sure, technically there's 2 loops there. And we're yarn over and pull through the work, and then same thing, hook in front of the yarn over, and pull through both loops of the hook, 2 single crochets. Now something to be mindful of, when we are chaining, we were holding the chains vertical as we were working. Now we're working horizontal. So you can see I'm holding the yarn horizontal. I'm putting my thumb like right up in that work so I have control of everything. You'll see in the next one how I'm holding it. So insert the hook underneath both loops. So you can see this loop and this loop. I'm going to go right through there. All right, and we're going to yarn over. And as you can see, I have my fingers right here, like right at the stitch. And then I'm going to actually move over. So I'm right underneath everything I'm working through. Yarn over, pull through 2. So you can see I'm holding right underneath each time. And so keep holding my work like this and working across. So here's the back of our chain. And these little horizontal bars here, that's what we're working into on the back. So when I'm going through the front here, underneath these 2 strands, if you look at it from the back, I'm going underneath those back bumps. So go ahead and just keep going across. Insert your hook there, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through both. Insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And this is where you can pause and practice this. I'm going to keep going so this video doesn't run on forever. It's a lot easier for you to pause and come back when you need it. Okay, so we're at the end. Now some people, the way they make their slip knots, the slip knots are a little bit loose and look like a stitch. If you think that there's still a stitch there, give a little tug on that tail And if it knots up where you cannot get in there, that's not a stitch. So we should have 10 single crochets across the top here. We start with 11, we went into the second chain from the hook, so we should have 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And what I'm counting is what I call deer tracks, and that's the V shape here. So 1, 2, 3, and so on. So you should have 10. In the beginning, you're going to want to count your stitches. I know it's tedious and it's not fun, but it's good to go ahead and count them. Now for single crochet, at the end, we're going to chain 1. Our chain is just like we did before in the beginning. You're going to put your hook in front of your yarn, pull towards yourself, and just pull through that loop. Now we're going to turn. So we just flip our work, because we're always going to work that right to left. And now it gets a lot easier. So now we're on our second row, and you can see these big holes here. We're going to work into those. It'll be a lot nicer than working into the frustration row or the foundation row. So you're going to take your hook and you're going to go into that big hole, which if you look and see from the top, you're going underneath both of the deer tracks or the V, and you're going to do the same thing. I'm holding it horizontal like I was before. More to hold on to now. As you get further along, it's a lot easier to work because we have something to hold on to. So the third row is even easier than this. So go ahead and yarn over and pull through the work. We've got our 2 loops in the hook just like before. Yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so here's a little trick. If you don't know where the next stitch is, see if I can hold this where I can show you. You just follow the loop on the hook. Follow it down, 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 and you can see that this work is going into this hole. So this has the business. We want to go into one that doesn't have the business, which is right here. So you see the deer tracks. We're going to work underneath these 2. Just go through. Make sure you pulled up both. We got 1, 2 on there. Hook is in front of the yarn. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through. And you can see where my thumb is placed. I'm holding with my middle finger, my thumb, the work, holding it so it's horizontal. And I'm going to work down, holding it just like this. Okay, at this point, feel free to go ahead and pause and practice. I'm going to go ahead and move it at a moderate speed towards the end. Okay, so here we are at the end, and I have 1 stitch left. So if I turn my work, I can see I have that deer track here, and then I have this it's kind of wonky one little post, kind of horizontal. It doesn't match everything else I've been going under. So make sure you're going to go through this last stitch here. Looks like a V. It's kind of weird to work into it because it's at the end. And that's it. You're not going to work into this weird little thing here. And to make sure we have the right amount of stitches and we don't have, too little or too many, make sure you count. So here in the beginning we have that wonky little stitch. It's not a deer track, it's just a little vertical bar. We're not going to count that. Only the deer tracks, the ones that make the V, or a braid. So you can count the top loops or you can count them as a whole. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we don't count what's on the hook. So 10. You did it. That's it. You're just going to chain 1 like you did before, and this is just repeating. Flip it and keep going. So your first stitch is going to be right in here. Put your hook in, pull up a loop. And that's it. That's how to single crochet. Keep practicing. Good luck.